I probably really should hunker down and try to help out around here by getting myself a job. I've only been saying that for how long? And you know what? I finally figured out what I should do to help you out around here, Johnny. Oh, and what would that be? I can be an NHL referee because seeing the Sens Preds game tonight, I could have done a lot better job than Mitch Dunning or Wes McCauley. You ever just want to get down on one knee and thank the hockey gods upstairs that Phil Forsberg is a Nashville Predator? Hey everybody, it's Jersey Guy. Hold my beer. Are you sure you want me here? Patrick will watch anybody. Is it really somewhere that we owe a massive debt to the hockey gods? Again and again and again. You're like a kid again, Johnny. Is happening? Is this happening? Is this happening? This isn't an ad for some dang cookie. I want a piece of that action. Well, you don't have to tell me twice. What do you have to tell me that is going to make me feel positive? And maybe the Titans won't let us down on Thursday. Let's walk it off. Okay, on with Johnny's reaction video.
Redemption take you home.
Preds lose 5-2 to the Ottawa Senators Monday night inside Bridgestone Arena after winning 5 in a row and giving his fan base some hope. This team negates that win streak and has now lost 5 games in a row with a pretty hot Ottawa Senators team on the other side of the ice tonight that didn't need the refs' help, but they certainly got it. Okay, I want to address something briefly in a room and then be done with it because there's an elephant in the room that I want to talk about. I don't usually go off on political rants here, and what I'm about to say, I'm going to keep short and sweet, but after what happened between Minnesota and Ottawa on Saturday, what happened at the Raptors game, I think on Sunday, and what happened between the Red Wings and Canucks on Sunday night in Vancouver, I posted on Twitter today that I would hope that Preds fans, after seeing what happened on the weekend, and at the moment I tweeted it, there's apparently 30 days peace for hopefully more down the road, that what was afraid would happen isn't actually going to happen, that I would hope that cooler heads would prevail, especially from a Preds fan group that, 8-9 years ago, paid respect to Toronto for singing a cappella the American national anthem in a game against Nashville, that when a Canadian team came to town, the same respect was paid back. And I thought Preds fans would be the better group. And though it was a small minority and it was a short time that they booed, I did not appreciate I heard because I watched this on FanDuel, and I guess somebody in management thought, yeah, we better not show the Canadian national anthem. So I heard from fans who watched this on Amazon Prime that for a short time the Canadian anthem was booed before it was stopped. I had heard through X that some fans in the crowd were telling other ones to shut up. So hopefully the larger majority silence that stupid, stubborn minority. Moving forward, any Canadian teams that come to town, I know we have the right to boo, but that should be during the game. Let's remember who our better friends are, who our allies are when push comes to shove and you need somebody to have your back internationally. That we let the outside world stay on the outside, and when we go to a hockey game or whatever sporting event, we put politics aside for 2.5 hours to 3 hours. So let's fast forward through an uneventful first period until just under 5 minutes left to go in the first, while Roman Josi is in the box serving a holding penalty. Now, this is all very confusing to me even now, and it's confusing to me why it took so long, as I'm sure it is to you. Sens are swarming around the Preds zone. Drake Batherson for the Sens appears to have scored, but the refs immediately wave it off for goalie interference. Now, the refs converge and review to see, okay, when did the goalie interference happen? When did the goal go in? Because if the goal went in before the goalie interference happened. They could have said it was a good goal. Well, their initial call amongst conferencing with themselves stood. So then the Sens challenged it, swearing that the goalie interference that happened made no interference with Saros' attempt to make the save and prevent the goal. But the refs took not so long this time on that challenge by Ottawa's coach Travis Green, but the call still stood. It was no goal, so the Preds got a power play out of it. But of course, the Preds' ever struggling power play doesn't score on it. They're 0 for 10 at that point in the middle of this losing streak. The final of the first period ends scoreless, 8 shots apiece, but not before. Oh, yes, thank you so much, Philip. Philip takes a slashing penalty because of a bad clear when he didn't have to rush it. So he rushes back to prevent Shane Pinto from scoring or setting up a scoring chance, meaning Ottawa will have a power play that will carry over to the second period. Fortunately for the Preds, they kill off the entire Sens power play that carried over to the second period. And then, well, in the moment, Philip redeemed himself because about 4 minutes later, he made a sweet move, and Forsberg scored on Forsberg. Anton Forsberg, that is, who was in net for the Sens, his 19th of the season. Oh, is this going to be another 7-8 game streak, Phil? It'll be nice to see, but don't screw up the tank too much. The Preds have a lead in a game. It's been a while since they've done that. Okay, but 30 seconds after Forsberg opened scoring, this is where it starts getting a little hairy, a little confusing with the NHL officials in this game. After a whistle, the two Zachs, Zach Ospachuk, I hope I said that right, and Zachary Heroux for the Preds exchange words, and here I am thinking it's just going to be a simple 4-on-4. So the officials send Ospachuk off for cross-checking, and here I am thinking, okay, so what's Heroux going to get for 2 minutes? Zachary Heroux gets not one, but a double minor for roughing? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Okay, I felt like I was watching an episode of CSI back in the day when FanDuel, much to their credit, Willie Donick and C-Mace went through the progression like a fine-tooth comb with a magnifying glass, replaying it the best they could to see what the heck Heroux could have done to get 2 roughing calls on Ospachuk. They couldn't find it. The fans let him have it. I would only assume Bruno let him have it, and he should have let him have more in the third period, but we'll get to that. And thank God the Sens ultimately wouldn't score on the power play they got out of it, or else there would have been stuff probably thrown over the glass. Not that I encourage it, but not when you get bad officiating like that. And the Preds' lead wouldn't last for long because fast forward to about halfway through the second period, Sens in transition. Tim Stützle gets a good shot off, can't score, but the rebound is right there before any Preds can defend him. And Adam Gaudette gets it in under Saros' glove side arm. Sens tie this game at 1. 3 minutes later, traffic in front of Saros. Screened from all directions. I don't know how any of the Saros naysayers think he can make saves when he can't see where the puck is coming from until the last minute. Derek Sanderson gets a shot off that beats him. Sens get their first lead of the game up 2-1. And I think it was before this that FanDuel showed that Saros has some of the least goal support for any NHL starting netminder in the league. Lay off of Saros a little bit. I want to see the guy succeed. He's working his butt off, and yes, he's had some bad games, but this little stretch here is not his fault when the guys aren't scoring enough in front of him or letting him see where the shots are coming from. And after all, when you look at the shot clock in the second period, Preds are lucky they're only down 2-1, considering the fact that they gave up 22 shots to the Sens in that period. Saros made 20 saves, and they only got 12 shots the other way. And, you know, I give the Preds credit that early in the third period with a power play that carried over from late in the second, that they were able to tie the game. Jonathan Marchessault's 16th of the season with assists to Phil Forsberg and Ryan O'Reilly, but it all went downhill from there in the third period. After that power play goal that we all thought would give them some momentum and maybe spark a comeback, after the Preds had gone 0 for 10 in their previous power plays before snapping that streak, Shane Pinto makes it 3-2 Sens about 7 minutes into the third period. Shortly after Pinto gave the Sens the lead, Zachary Roux trying to find means to try and tie it. Oh, you don't want to do this, Zach. He trips down Ridley Gregg, and the refs call him for tripping. Zachary Roux tries to sell that maybe Gregg had embellished it a little bit, but Roux's got to be a little careful because he doesn't mean to, but he's getting himself a little reputation that the officials are probably watching out for. So the Sens get a power play trying to get the insurance goal. Now, shortly into the Sens power play, it's the Preds who get a good clear. Adam Wilsby is all the way down trying to make something happen. We're saying, oh, good, is this kid going to do something? And Derek Sanderson holds him down and there's no goal. There's no goal. And I know upon further review, it was nothing at his feet, but Sanderson interfered and got him at his knee, which made him lose his footing. Sens go the other way, already on the power play with the odd man rush as Wilsby races back, and the Sens get their insurance goal after all on the power play off of Wilsby's head, no less, past Saros, and the Sens are now up 4-2. The players on the ice let the refs have it. The fans in the Bridgestone Arena stands let the refs have it. And you know what? Just to see some fight in him from his stoic nature on the Preds bench, I wouldn't have minded Bruno saying something, maybe to the effect, throwing something, not viciously at the refs, getting himself tossed, but just seeing some pissed off attitude that is missing from this team right now as it struggles through their losing streak right now. But that's two things in this game that the refs have to be held account for, at least in the NFL. And I think in Major League Baseball, a pool reporter gets to ask the officials questions. How are we going to have any accountability when I have no idea, you have no idea why the refs made two crucial calls the way they did in this game? I used to think Wes McCauley was cute with his, 5 minutes for fighting and all of his other animations when he makes calls, but he is getting on my last nerve when it comes to times he officiates Preds games. Eventually, the Preds have to pull Saros early, and doesn't take very long. Ridley Gregg is the one who gets the insurance goal. Roman Yossi's the one who is close by to fish the puck out of his net. He throws it down the ice with his stick. He's pissed, and the clock runs out in this one. And the Sens win kind of handily, kind of thanks to the officials in this game, by a final score of 5-2. And something I am going to try and keep going forward as this team is heading in one direction and it's down. Da 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 da. Let the tanks roll. And you know, there's one thing I almost forgot to say, and I don't want to leave it out. Congratulations to Captain Roman Josi, who by playing in this game passes David Legon for most games played as a national player, and he's done it all in gold. He's never played for another NHL team. Even though it's frustrating what this team is going through right now, we all know that 59 one day will hang in the Bridgestone Arena rafters. Now, that said, what is this? This is game 52, 32 games left. There's only two other teams with less games played than the Preds, so there's still a lot more misery to come. Thank God there's 3 days off before I have to stress about watching this joke right now, with Chicago in Chicago on Friday, and then playing at home to Buffalo on Friday. I alluded to on Saturday that I expect both of these games to be losses. There's not much else to say right now. I can't go to this charity event, but I hope everybody who goes to Nash Vegas tomorrow gets their mind off of this team and has fun and is safe. And thinking about this as I wrap this up, I wouldn't be surprised if this is not the last time I talk to you guys before Friday. I could see trades being consummated soon by Trotz because there's pieces on his team. I'm looking at Gustav Nyquist, who I expect to be moved before the March NHL trade deadline. It's going to be here before we know it. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching as always and getting a kick if it helps you therapeutically with this frustrating season. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media as always by clicking on a channel name and interact with me during every Preds game or any Preds trade that comes up. Tell all your friends about Predemption and enjoy your week without Preds hockey until Friday as the tank rolls on.